Good morning, everybody. So we've had a couple of uneventful days. Things pretty much played out based on the pre-market review expectations as to what was going to happen. Directionless trading ranges, and today thinking, why should it change today? Well, part of it, I'm hoping it's going to change today. Um, to get some movement here. And I've got the futures up here, and you can see, the quietness that's been going on. A little move down, but one of the things that I had spoken about, and I think we had some discussion about this in the green room, about multiple time frames, and this whole idea about turns when we had looked at the market internals, which yesterday I said maybe they got to an extreme enough level, just based on how I've had them set up and used them over the years. Uh, just getting into this red area, triggers a um, warning. Start thinking about risk off, and odds of some kind of corrective price action is historically is likely to happen. And this little corrective action that's occurred so far, we see that not a big deal, but the sentiment gauge backed off quite a bit. This one did not. So we still don't have some type of potent, let's put it that way, price action to suggest any downside movement is about to happen here. So sideways, here's today, a little uneventful day there, and you can see the sideways price action that's occurring. So I think it's one of the things I think was in the green room here was, look, once prices get extended in a short-term basis, and other things could become much more extended. Like if you look at some of the cruise line stocks, you can see how much they're up. That they're even further extended. So we're looking for some kind of correction in the broader markets. It's good that the area. I'm looking at the futures here now, but minor support is here. There's a rising 20. Major support is here. In other words, this consolidation that we sat through for about a month, this choppy price action provides a relatively significant support area. So barring any major market moving news, pullback should be viable, and there should be willing buyers somewhere in this area. So far, it's just going sideways. So here's as things evolve, right? So we create a bias based on what is, and then we see what develops. So now we have, as that sideways price action is going on, the beginnings of a topping pattern as we look at the 65-minute chart. Whereas here, this is just going sideways in an uptrend, no big deal. However, as this is going sideways on the daily time frame, should it create a bar of significance? And I think, again, I get sometimes my memory as to what we talked about pre-market versus in the green room gets kind of jumbled or mixed up, so to speak. But one of the things is talking about potent reversal bars. So anticipating some kind of a pullback, and as things are correcting time-wise, that's what's going on right now, sideways through time, nothing of significance. It may move up today, right? It's in an uptrend. We'll see. But let's say it moves up and we get a nasty little or big nasty dark bar. Well, that's going to be a pretty potent signal, right? We don't have that yet. It could be a range expansion topping tail bar. I haven't even looked to see where it's. Well, I guess the SPY is going to open up pretty much like what this is like. So unchanged. or close to unchanged. And if we were to get I'll say it goes up. And, we get this upward movement today. Maybe it breaks out. It could do that. And so we get some kind of resolve that it breaks to the upside. Of course, like I say every day, we have to wait to see what things look like at the end of the day. If we were to get a topping tail bar, something like that, well, that's a pretty powerful signal that there was rejection on the upside, and that lines up with our internals. And so that as things develop, we use bar by bar analysis to help guide us as to, hey, now we've got a pattern that is now supporting some kind of corrective price action, whatever that might be, as prices move down toward a support level where buyers are willing to step in. Now, as far as this going sideways, as it is, the longer it goes sideways, whatever base, head and shoulders top, whatever it might be, as it builds a larger area up here, it increases the probability of a more significant move, either up or down. And so while the internals are where they are, sideways price action over a period of time will begin to dissipate those internals. So we're still in the middle of no man's land, so to speak, waiting for some meaningful price action to form. And it's beginning to form. So we're just not there yet. And so I think today, some kind of price movement, there's no meaningful economic reports coming out today. Just going back, I know there was some oil report that was coming. Just going back to look at the site that I use. There is tomorrow. And yeah, there's some mortgage stuff coming out early, and crude oil stocks at 10:30 and so on. So pretty much related to oil. Yeah. So, all right. So here we are. There's the S&Ps. Hopefully things get moving one way or another today. Yeah. Q's the same thing. Now, here was a little resting period. It breaks out and just goes nowhere, right? So it's likely to start to begin to make some kind of a move. It's doing nothing again for quite a number of days. And you got this would be first day here, 6 days of going nowhere, which as we look at the 65-minute chart, and here's a little bit of it, it breaks out, it comes back down again. You got pivot highs and pivot lows that are close together. It's just marking time going nowhere. And so just, another time of similar to this, of not going anywhere. So we wait. Let's see. There's no news of significance. So what's going to move the markets today? We'll find out together. YM, drift down a little bit weaker. It's in an uptrend. It does have room to pull back, but you can see the idea of relative weakness. The others are going sideways. This one's pulling back a little. The 65-minute came down to this little shelf of support there, and now it's lifting up toward these pivots. So the last couple of days, we've talked about trading range. Actually, I talked about the likelihood of the markets trading within a range, not really going much of anywhere. So I'm hoping today maybe a little bit more movement. Today, FOMC minutes at 2:00. Maybe they can get things moving. I mean, it's just a report as to what's going on. But tomorrow there's some jobless claims, and so maybe that gets things going. But anyway, uptrend. This is moving up. It's up in resistance, so you could call it a gigantic sideways trend. But I was hopeful as far as the Dow goes that we'd see the some advance and the Dow make new all-time highs. So, um, you can see here, the Dow started drifting lower with the day before and today, and it's got room to pull back. This morning it's up a little bit. Again, we're still waiting for something of significance. These kind of patterns is um, not specifically the Dow, but stocks that are strong and extended, they lend themselves better to either day trades, if you're looking at the futures, or either ETFs or stocks, you know, call spreads that are going to expire on Friday, short time to expiration call spreads. But these are not swing type setups. All right. IWM. This was showing relative strength yesterday. It's a little bit of a bigger bar. But it can't get out of its own way. As you can see, you got a little bit of a wider trading range there. So it's coming up toward the top of the range. The daily is in an uptrend. Kind of like the transports where we said, hey, they finally broke out. That's a positive. Breadth expanded. This has room to go up, but so far it's just chopping sideways, not going anywhere. And so, but maybe we get something going today, since there isn't, other than Trump news, there isn't economic news. So it could be, okay, we don't have the risk of news. Let's go for it and see if, buy and see if we can get some prices moving to the upside. We could say upside, might think, why not the downside? Well, it's in an uptrend. So buyers should be willing to step up on pullbacks. Gold, not doing anything, just chopping around. It's just been in this trading range for the longest time, not doing much of anything. While, you've got the dollar. It's kind of been a trading range as well. We had this dip last week, and now it's coming up. It'll be interesting to see, just based on, this is UUP, which, if you look at DXY, but just, utilizing this, it's in an area where maybe it's going to start to bottom. So not any useful information here for the moment either. Yesterday, we talked about silver tightening up here at resistance. That's not going anywhere. The markets are just marking time. Right? Nobody is really interested in they don't have confidence in committing to one direction or the other at the moment. Maybe it's just summer doldrums, or just, tired of the flip-flop news and whatever. So crude oil, we had talked about the big drop. I had mentioned about wide range bars being the weakest link, explained about the base and the move up. This could maybe grind up. You can see it's stuck at the converging moving averages here. So that's not going anywhere. Interest rates. Copper. I'll show you copper. This is in the middle of the trading range, right? Big part of the trading range, high, low, smaller trading range, middle of the trading range, waiting to see which way it's going to go. Copper. Interested in copper. Copper's up. It's consolidating. You can trade COPX, copper miners. I think that's kind of grinding up, and no great pattern there. It is up near some resistance. Okay, we can look at that one, CPER. Yeah, so that looks more like, right, the one I was looking at was copper miners. This one is copper. You got a wide range bar. And so what do you do with a wide range bar? You either wait for a 1, 2, 3, or you go in and you buy it and you share size it below the low of the wide range bar. Right? Well, it's pretty simple. Right? Money management will take care of what you need to do as far as that goes, if you want to buy that. Yeah, let's go SPX. I mean, different things are kind of just chopping around. retailing, promising chart. Looks like it could go up. Regional banks, they're consolidating. They look like they could go up. Transports, right? Decent chart. Looks like they can go up. So we don't have breakouts yet. We don't have, really correction bars. So we wait. We wait. That's the deal. Other than individual stocks, broader markets are just not happening right now. I don't know what everybody's waiting for. There was the holiday, and I suspect everybody's back, but hopefully today we get some kind of more meaningful movement. So, my little drawings there from yesterday talked about why prices should stay in between these areas, and of course they did. So, where are they? Basically unchanged. It's like they ain't even moving. Was anybody trading yesterday? Was anything happening? Right, little narrow bodied day, kind of winding the spring, so to speak, but the moving averages are far apart. So up until now, the correction has been one through time. So unchanged. How far away can we get? Nothing even came close yesterday. Oh yeah, MT Live today. Definitely should be an interesting conversation. McGraw. We'll delve into the dark side and of zero DTE trading and on SPX, and Dan and I will be the balancing act to McGraw's dark hole. He's got some interesting stuff, but some of those charts are like, what? What the hell is that? Really? Kind of funny. Oh, I know how to deal with it, Alex. We had these conversations with McGraw in the past. He knows where I'm coming from because when he started out, he was just beginning to learn about zero DTE, and he started um, providing these ideas. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, McGraw? What are you looking at? Just look to the left, man. And we got into open interest and market maker stuff and all that, and then it got somewhat interesting. And so there are some useful pieces of information that McGraw's conversations in the green room that I utilize, but for the stuff that he uses, it's like, here's like the black hole, the craziness of, if you're really into zero DTE, this kind of stuff would kind of lead you to like the holy grail. People like that kind of stuff. For me, I'll match up analysis and picking spots for a zero DTE any day of the week with his, crystal ball of, craziness. But he's much more active. Whereas for me, and in the room, it's like, let's just pick a point for one. Sometimes we could get one put spread, one call spread. And other than that, where he would be more of a scalper and that kind of thing, if you're really into just that. But hey, we got stocks to trade, we got credit spreads to trade, we got futures to trade, so it is what it is. All yours, Dan.
Morning. 7 minutes today at 2 o'clock. Sometimes they move the market, sometimes they don't. I always say they're past tense. So when they do move big, I'm personally shocked. It's like, haven't these Fed guys been talking for weeks since that meeting? So who cares? Alarms. We started nibbling on some oil stocks yesterday. Rigs on my list today. I actually bought some pre-market. Yes. Let's go through alarms first. RK up alarm. I mean, this is the beauty of our ETF letter. We only trade ETFs, obviously, and we give them more room. So we were in this on this. This is just a beautiful gap breakout over a red bar consolidation to the 20. We're still in it a full lot. Or actually, I think we got out of the third when it traded under, the slowing momentum there. So I reset the alarm there. Cream is on my list, not only for directional, but a put spread. All right, let me reset the alarm. Cream 275.40. Just to give it a little more oomph, so I don't have to stare at it as you open. Merck, I'll be doing a seminar today on bottoming patterns, so there'll be things like this. So my up alarm went off, so I just reset that higher, but that's a bottoming pattern. And it's a quality one. So now the question is, where do we enter? Let's see, did this take out the red bar, 82.38? No, it didn't. So the anchor would be over 82.60. But I got an earlier alarm up here. Make sure I reset it. Marks, I'm gonna reset it 82.25. Done. And Jose asking about PRME. You gotta tell me what you're thinking, Jose, because I have no idea what you're thinking. It's what we call a climbing. And actually kind of a measured move here also. Went from here to here, and then boom. It's just too extended for a swing or even a day trade to me. I think it's on borrowed time. If you're thinking Climo, it'd be under yesterday's low. IMO is a bullish kind of symmetrical triangle and an uptrend. So that looks fine, Joe. Set an alarm 81.20. Back to alarms. Screen sharing has stopped. I didn't do a thing. What's going on here? No, because my trade station just shut down. Beautiful. And I've been having computer problems for why did trade station shut down? I just shut down. Beautiful. So give me a second. Mouse went out on the big computer again. That was driving me nuts this morning. All right, so trade station is opening here. Trade station here. But I can look at my other computer and answer questions. Why is this not opening? Recent workspaces. Green, great.
Yes.
Yeah. Why this screen's sharing? I'm not having good technology morning. All right, we're back here. Talked about cream. MDB alarm. I don't see any prints, but you know, this thing, that's made it has made the turn, but it just can't get its butt moving. Amen. That's a bull rectangle. We're gonna buy calls over yesterday's high. All right, that's all the alarms I got. Look at interest list. Golf Hotel. It's the buy setup, bullish daily, weekly, monthly, gapping up here. So that's a buy on a pullback. Golf Hotel looks good. TEX continuation breakout. Bullish weekly. Yeah, I don't think I opened up the right page here because I'm missing a lot of things that I had here on my watch list. Or before. Starbucks. I've been watching for put spread and directional. And look at that gap. So now, shoot, now it's excessive. But put spread's okay. ITW, a little bull rectangle. Onto bottoming pattern, just set an alarm. ITW alarm. Just, you know, maybe 30-minute high. It's not ready yet, but I always set early alarms. Sky alarm, we're in this in the ETF letter. Wow, geez, ripping here. Meta's ripping, Nvidia's ripping, Microsoft, I know got an upgrade. I just say, you know, I don't respect these clowns upgrading something after it's rallied, you know, 50%. Oh, now I think I'll upgrade you. ANET. Yeah, ANET's a go. ANET's a go. If you get filled, I gave it as a limit. SIBO. SIBO was breakout yesterday. Now he's on probation. Well, he was on probation yesterday, but another alarm went off. On this LYB we got into yesterday, doing great. And I said, that's a beautiful bottoming pattern. We bought TDOT yesterday. That looks great.
Merck that you mentioned yesterday. Coming
What?
up the base. Merck, you mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, my alarm went off. Yeah, today's the day. I said buy it over this red bar. Shoot, I should have made it official. I said over 82.60. Now it's up $1.20 from there. So that's a buy on a pullback. Merck. Oh, and alarm just went off. This is a directional and put spread. Continuation breakout. Looks good. Semis continue there, but that's a grind. But Nvidia is obviously helping them all-time highs. I know. Hey, Meta might be making the turn here. I didn't know which way it would break, but let's see if it holds. The news yesterday was talking about Nvidia only had to go up another $1 or so to join the 4 trillion club. And I don't know if that's sucking in more idiots or not. Who knows? But it's a bullshit.
Diamonds have a lot of room to go up. They underperformed. So these S and Ps and diamonds clearing the top of a intraday base here, suggesting that they built some support and they got room to go up. So now we need a pattern to enter. We're kind of getting some whip here on the first 5 minutes, up the Russell especially. The Russell should go up. Let's see. We need some intraday patterns to things to settle down here a little bit.
Let's bid 83.50 for a half a lot on this.
The NOINOD from yesterday. And Tim, if you're in the social media chat there, that toast thing got toasted in the morning, but discussion yesterday in the room was that they're still in uptrends, and let's see if they can turn around yesterday's rejections. And so the INOD 5-minute chart, sideways, down, sideways, base, potential to be like a no follow through to the topping tail bar.
Airbnb not doing much. We don't actually have that much inventory. Our AIZ, that's our only short. Doing well, relative weakness. ABO doing nothing. SIBO is weak. CDOC doing well. Target is another bottoming pattern. And over 103.41. Really.
SMH, new highs.
Yeah, Amazon over yesterday's fine, sure. With the stop yesterday's low, sure. I like the 1, 2, 3 weekly, red bar, Norbrico. FT, AMD. Yeah, it's made the turn, a little downside shakeout. For a new trade, that ain't bad. Check a put spread on it. You can do directional also, 15, 30-minute high. Markets, huge, church started out with a bang this morning. AMD to 135. And no juice for foot spread, but directional's fine. Habco's fine. Consolidating in an uptrend. Curve is not participating. I have this as a short watch on curve. I'm gonna set an alarm at 150.
Russell taking out the high of the
Cream up alarm. It's not ready, but let me set it now at 276. SMCI alarm. This is great. We have a put spread, but I like this directional too. Look at daily, weekly, monthly. I'm gonna do a half lot right now. Anticipatory. And let's look for another put spread too. Stop weeks low. Oh, yeah, I tried adding LYB pre-market, didn't get filled. All right, so our SMCI put spread is for this Friday, so now we'll go out to next week. Weeks low, 46 or lower. 45, 15. 215. 42. Yeah, I mentioned Pella yesterday as continuation breakout. Here, DHI. I don't like that prior high, but I've mentioned XHP is bottoming and its relative weakness, XHP. Oh, and Bill, let me check puts on this. 55s. No juice Friday next week. 54, 54, 51 is 35. Yeah, can do that. Yeah, MVP. Got a new alarm. Six. And they're spreading. But it has cute. So let me look at the two little streams. So if we did the 200, 200, 195, 61, 64. Let's try 65. Build on DB. Merck is setting the pullback level, 83.50.
There's a little bit of room to go, but the spiders are nearing where they gap down from. Little room where they get to that gap area. Qs have already surpassed it and coming up to the that high. Yeah, so Qs for the moment anyway, not on a closing basis, new all-time high.
Um,
SMHs are stalling on the 5 minute. The Dow, having been the weakest, has got the most room to move up if it can. So this is, we were talking in the green room, a couple of times about wide range bars being the weakest link within an uptrend, bearish wide range bar, so, review that concept in the 65-minute charts. You get a deeper understanding of how one candle, putting in the context of trends and support and resistance, isn't necessarily something to get too bearish too quickly about. You see how it's being negated now. Yeah, that looks good, Tim. PSTG. Breaking out of this consolidation. Got room to go. There's unfilled gap up there and $60 to potentially stall it.
yeah, it looks fair. Yeah. Love it. Love the week. Oh, yeah, we talk about this bull flag weekly. Buy half here, stop yesterday's low.
DraftKings, I don't like. It's up near that resistance area, wide range bar yesterday. I think a little consolidation at this resistance area, and it could be a go in another day or two. I mean, the 5 minute chart is good for maybe a scalper trade, though. Yeah, you did say 15-minute base, but for a swing, you need a big stop, which is okay. Things are stalling here. Coming in a little bit.
Yeah, postage. So that, I think Sam told me this is the company that owns the post office. Postage. All right, Mark, we did our half lot coming in. Um, Marijuana continues to make a move from yesterday. What changed that? Greg, your JB Hunt. Looks like it wants to go to the 200.
I have the alert. It hasn't cleared the highs yet. Monster beverage is quite weak. Probably no premium enough to get doing unless you go out 2 weeks, Dan. But this could be a short um, retracement. Little mini climacto, Alex. I see. Your resistance.
Alex Sam has a different definition of that when he's at lunch, just so you know. I got the weekly auction letter updated.
This will be, I'm more interested now, Alex, since this took out the high, these highs here on the 5 minute. If this thing turns into a topping tail, that'll be a much better setup.
Full section edge.